Billy Bob Thornton airs his grievances about the divorce of Angelina Jolie. Billy Bob Thornton came into this world in Hot Springs, Arkansas on August 4th, 1955. Thornton's artistic work is characterized by a grittier reality and doggedness that he inherited from his poor working-class origins. Endeavours, economic adversity, and his family's perseverance impacted his early existence as the youngest of three children, things that would shape his performances in terms of the sincerity and intensity of his emotions. Even as a child, Thornton displayed an innate talent for storytelling, frequently conjuring up fantastical worlds and people, establishing a groundwork for a profession characterized by adaptability and emotional straightforwardness. Thornton's meteoric climb to Hollywood stardom was anything but typical or quick. Despite his dogged determination, he had a tough time landing acting roles and lowly jobs at first. Dedication to his work and the perseverance to face years of criticism before finally being acknowledged. When Thornton starred in, wrote, and directed the 1996 film Sling Blade, he finally broke through. He created the protagonist of a film based on an earlier stage and a short film he had worked on. Was well received by both critics and audiences. Thornton solidified his image as an actor capable of great emotional nuance and depth through a portrayal of Carl Childers, a man with a tragic history seeking redemption. His performance earned him the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay and a nomination for Best Actor. This accomplishment showcases skill and commitment to crafting stories that touch people's hearts, frequently delving into the intricacies of human nature and ethics. In addition to his work in Sling Blade, Thornton has proven to be incredibly versatile across numerous cinema genres. The actor deftly moved from playing serious roles in films like A Simple Plan, 1998, and Monsters Ball, 2001, to darkly humorous roles in Bad Santa, 2003, demonstrating his talent for inhabiting characters who were idiosyncratic, unexpected, or ethically ambiguous. A combination of subtlety and raw emotion permeates many of his performances. Vulnerability, evoking genuine emotional responses from viewers by depicting the inner turmoil and challenges faced by his characters. His versatility as an actor has earned him a place among his contemporaries' most revered and long-lived stars. Love for the emotional honesty he gives to his work as much as his technical prowess. Every position. Thornton isn't just a legendary actor. He is also a groundbreaking musician. He has a profound love for the art of musical storytelling through his work as lead vocalist and songwriter with Billy Bob Thornton and the Boxmasters, a band that draws from country, rock, and Americana elements. A lot of time, his songs showcases his multifaceted creative persona by reflecting topics he has explored his film work, such as the complexities of human nature, love, loss, and redemption. His love of performing shines through in his work on television and in the concert hall, and music has given him yet another way to reach an audience. One of Thornton's. He has handled his popularity with some degree of candor and genuineness, yet his private life has frequently been in the spotlight. He has welcomed the controversy and success that have accompanied his career with open arms, becoming famous for his forthright interviews and unflinching attitude to fame. In spite of the difficulties, Thornton is unwavering in his commitment to his creative vision, always taking on new challenges while staying true to his own tastes. Because of his honesty, he has gained the respect of his contemporaries and followers alike, who see his dedication to art rather than commerce. William H. Thornton's. Due in major part to his numerous marriages and the drastically diverse personalities of the women he has been with, his private life has frequently garnered as much interest as his celebrated cinematic career. The ups and downs of his romantic relationships mirror the stages of his life and career, illuminating the ups and downs that have defined him as a person and artist. In 1978, Thornton tied the knot with Melissa Lee Gatlin, marking his first marriage. Long before fame found him, he was already in this relationship when he was an adult. Even back then, Thornton was only a singer and actor making ends meet while he chases goals in Hollywood. The emotional and financial strain of an undetermined professional path and financial instability put a strain on their young marriage. Amanda was born to the couple before their 1980 divorce, but she would go on to have her share of scandals and celebrity encounters, even if they're dating. Although it didn't last long, it was Thornton's first taste of parenthood, a concept that would surface again and again throughout his life. frequently impacting the intensity of his performances and songs. In 1986, when he wed Toni Lawrence for a second time, Billy Bob Thornton was just breaking into the acting scene and starting to get some tiny parts, growing in his writing abilities. Mark Lawrence's daughter Toni shared her father's love of films, and for a while it seemed like their creative visions were converging. Their union, nevertheless, was short-lived, continuing just until 1988. The two had a cordial separation, and his early marriages, Thornton would come to realize, were frequently the victims of his intense ambition to achieve, a quality that agitated him in his personal and professional life. Cinda Williams, an accomplished actress and singer, became Thornton's third wife in 1990. The entertainment industry was the meeting place for the two, and initially, they were attracted together by common artistic aspirations. Although she would later co-star with Denzel Washington in M.O. Better Blues, Cinda was already a star on the rise. Still, Thornton's incessant work ethic and the difficulties of juggling two budding Hollywood careers put a strain on the relationship. They separated in 1992, although in subsequent interviews, they complimented each other's abilities. One of the more turbulent periods in Thornton's personal life occurred in 1993, during his fourth marriage to Petra Dawn Cherniak. A former Playboy model named Petra delivered an explosion of glitz and sharpness into the realm of Thornton. Harry James and William were the couple's sons, and they seemed to have it made for a while. Conflict and strain began to fester in their marriage behind the scenes. Due to irreconcilable conflicts and other factors, Petra eventually filed for a divorce in 1997, becoming famous due to claims of emotional instability at home. During this time, Thornton's career took off after Sling Blade, which led to a major shift in his personal priorities and more strain on his relationships. His marriage to Angelina Jolie followed, and it was arguably the most renowned of all of Thornton's marriages. The couple first crossed paths in 1999 while filming Pushing Tin, and their tabloid-worthy wedding in 2000 sealed the deal. Their unusual declarations of love, together with their impassioned public demonstrations of devotion, made their relationship one of the most talked about in Hollywood. And most notoriously, they sported vials of each other's blood around their necks. Their relationship was heated and unpredictable, and Thornton, who was nearly 20 years Jolie's elder, frequently characterized her as a stunning, free spirit. Nevertheless, Thornton grew more and more uneasy with the public scrutiny as Jolie's career took off. Their marriage, fissures started to appear. Thornton subsequently admitted after their 2003 divorce that he felt uneasy and unwelcome in Jolie's activist and famous environment. Despite their breakup, they have remained amicable towards one another in subsequent years, highlighting profound love that existed between them. Those people, Thornton finally found love stability in his 2003 Bad Santa co-star, puppeteer and costume designer Connie England, after years of unstable relationships. Thornton and England chose to keep their affair under wraps, in contrast to his past romances that were in the public eye. Real, family-focused existence away from the limelight of Hollywood. Bella was born to them in 2004, and they tied the knot in 2014, after being together for over 10 years. Connie, according to Thornton, is the one who understands his eccentricities and encourages his creative streak without passing judgment. This has allowed him to find balance in his life. Billy Bob Thornton's remarks were sincere, open, and laced with remorse when he finally spoke out regarding his well-publicized divorce from Angelina Jolie. Their breakup was emotionally taxing for the actor and musician, who is famously introverted. It felt as struggling through an unending storm, Thornton said. For long there, I didn't even know who I was. I was that disoriented. The unusual intensity of their marriage, which had once enchanted Hollywood, had now devolved into something terrible and perplexing for both of them. The ordeal was one of the worst, according to Thornton, his life's chapters. A time of bewilderment, isolation, and the dreadful realization that love cannot always keep a couple together. During their marriage from 2000 to 2003, Thornton and Jolie's romance captivated audiences worldwide. Symbolizing passion that subsequently became a memory of heartbreak, they were notorious for their reckless public displays of adoration, which included wearing vials of each other's blood around their necks. It was as if we were living in separate universes. Thornton said, "At last, we both found our way along our respective paths. Those roads simply could not cross again. As their lives started to diverge, the actor acknowledged that their strong attraction was covering up a fundamental incompatibility. While Jolie was achieving international fame and humanitarian work, Thornton yearned for a life away from the limelight. Her radiance was like the sun's, robust and perpetually progressing," he whispered. "I resembled the shade more. I yearned for tranquility and alone, whereas she yearned to rule the world. We were ultimately severed by that distinction." Thornton admitted that he fell into a deep despair and a lack of self-confidence following the divorce. Isolation, restless nights, and an enduring remorse were some of the symptoms he experienced. "Everything was my fault," he said. "It occurred to me that maybe I was inadequate or that I lacked the wisdom to love her properly." Though they are no longer together, Thornton has consistently made Jolie sound like one of the most remarkable people she's ever met. Even in her worst hours, he praised her kindness and bravery. He added, "She is just flawless." "It is my pleasure," he continued. "She's absolutely incredible, and she totally deserves. She has achieved so much good." Thornton reflected on their past issues and said that the pressures of fame and the media made their problems worse. The incessant scrutiny from the public drove a gulf between them, which they were unable to bridge. "It's hard to have a normal marriage when every move you make is judged," according to him. "We were living in a glass house, and eventually the cracks started to show." It was a tragedy waiting to happen, he said, because he and Jolie were both attempting to deal with their own demons while simultaneously being in the limelight. For Thornton, who has suffered from anxiety and a phobia of large groups for a long time, the tumultuous focus on their union. "I felt unsuited for that type of lifestyle," he admitted. "In contrast to her desire to shine, I wanted to hide. We drifted apart at that point." Thornton still thinks the incident taught him something, despite the pain. Vital insights regarding love, notoriety, and embracing oneself. Being vulnerable can be a blessing and a curse, he realized, particularly when one's life is constantly being watched by others. He stated it took him a long time to realize that love isn't necessarily permanent. At times, love is relinquishing control, regardless of the emotional pain it causes. Since then, Thornton has channeled his grief into creative endeavors, such as music and writing, which have brought him comfort. As for his relationship with Jolie, he has kept it low-key and describes it as one based on mutual respect and shared history rather than animosity. "Our love for one another will never fade," he exclaimed with a mix of emotions. When you've been through that, it's hard to forget. Billy Bob Thornton's contemplations on his divorce from Angelina Jolie shed light on the anguish of bereaved love and the frailty of two individuals that society saw as superhuman. Through his candor, we see a man who has known both ecstasy and despair, turmoil and serenity. This shows that even in the movies, love can be intense and unpredictable. He silently pondered the possibility of returning. "I wouldn't change the fact that I fell for her, but I would make more of an effort to comprehend myself initially. That is the starting point. Always be true to yourself before letting someone else into your heart." Thornton suffers from dyslexia and OCD. The prevalence of some eccentric habits has been extensively studied in Talks with Thornton. One of these is an aversion to old furniture, which Thornton's character in 2001's Bandits in Doyle Hargraves, played by Dwight Yoakam in the Thornton-written Sling Blade, both suffer from. On top of that, he's come clean about his phobia of specific kind of cutlery, a quality he embodied in his character from 2001's Monsters Ball, specifically when he demands a plastic spoon for his regular serving of ice cream.